Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Erie's annual jazz funeral. With the theme for January being solitude, it seems quite fitting considering the times we are currently living in. Today, we are going to lay to rest the year 2020. It was a year that gave us great challenges, immeasurable loss, and time to pause. The 2020 experience has been different for each of us, but this morning we come together in the new year to reflect on our past and celebrate our hopes for the future. Please be sure, if you are willing and able, to have a bell ready to ring and a chalice or a candle to light, some tissues close by in case the moment moves you, and a handkerchief to twirl as we have a virtual second line at the conclusion of our service today. Please remember that this is being recorded. So now is the time to grab your bell and give it a ring. So please unmute yourselves. And with the sound of bells, we welcome stranger and friend. Thank you for that joyful sound. And now we are going to have Hannah Olariwaju performing our welcoming song. Hannah?
Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from. Wherever you are, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you.
Thank you, Hannah. And next, we have our opening words. Our opening words this morning are going to come from Becca Olariwaju, and she is going to reflect on the year 2020. Becca?
Okay, so here is my 2020 reflection. 2020 was an interesting year. Interesting is a nice neutral word, I think. It took absence makes the heart grow fonder, quite literally, and it made me realize all of the small things that I took for granted before. I miss seeing my extended family. I miss going out to eat sometimes. I miss getting together with people. I even miss going to class. But I don't want to dwell too much on the lost opportunities this year. It's better to focus on all of the good things. I reconnected with old friends, made some new ones, and even strengthened my current bonds, and I still got to do some cool stuff. When we reflect on 2020, let us remember the good, the bad, and the silly. It was an opportunity to slow down, to focus on what is important, family, friends, and even ourselves, to maybe finish that book, to talk on the phone for hours, spend time with the loved ones at home for self-improvement or even home improvement. It's okay to remember the not so nice things too. It was also a part of this year. I can literally say that my hindsight is 2020. And it taught me that no matter what, you can make the best out of any situation and the most important things will always reveal themselves. Thank you.
Diane's on the,
you.
that's who we have to talk to.
Becca. And next we have Jackson with our prelude. Jackson, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And now it's time for our chalice lighting. So if you have a chalice or a candle that you would like to light at this time, and leading us with the chalice lighting this morning is Linlong Su. Linlong?
We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together.
Thank you. And now we are going to do our covenants. Our universal covenant, known as the children's bond, is now the universal covenant. There are some, there's a line added there, and we're going to have our 1898 bond. And leading us with that will be Christine Linke. Christine?
Good morning. Before we do the universal covenant, I wanted to show people the hand motions for the new last line. So maybe Clyde, if you could take it off screen share for just 1 second. Great, thanks. The line is, we care for the earth and for each other. And on the each other, we're touching the edge of our Zoom boxes like we're touching each other's hands. So that last line is, we care for the earth and for each other. Okay, so we can go back to screen share. We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. We care for the earth and for each other. And then the bond of union. We unite ourselves together for the study and practice of morality and religion as interpreted by the growing thought and noblest lives of humanity, believing that we may thereby prove helpful one to another and promote the cause of truth, righteousness, and love in the world.
Thank you, Christine. So, the jazz funeral, a tradition that had its beginnings in the late 19th century in the city of New Orleans, Louisiana, here in America. A ritual that is rich in history. It is a mourning and a celebration, a spiritual affair that is not only somber and dignified, it is joyous and vibrant. As with jazz funeral traditions, there is a wake, a funeral, a burial, and a cutting loose ritual with a second line parade. The wake is a time for storytelling and recalling memories. Thinking back on the past year, what is your story? What memories do you have? What are the moments you hold dear, and what are the things you just soon forget? While there was surely laughter as well as tears, and times of comfort as well as uncertainty, there was maybe that time you thought, this isn't so bad, as opposed to the time you thought, this is horrible. So let us take some time here to reflect on the past year, the wake, if you will, of the year 2020. It was an exceptional year. Of course, the big story of the year is the pandemic, which we all know is still ongoing. The global health crisis that took us away from our everyday routine and placed us into day-to-day uncertainty. Some of us were and still are alone. Many of us were and still are with family. And I don't think any of us were prepared. It was life as usual at the beginning of the year. A new year, a new decade, the roaring 20s. Things to do and places to go. Friends to meet for coffee and work that needs done. Plans to make and shopping to do. Yes, many other things happened during the past year. The pandemic became the definitive factor in all other aspects of our lives. We had to change our plans and stock up on toilet paper. We had to wear masks to go out in public. We should only leave our homes for essential things. For me, 2020 was bittersweet. While it took milestone moments away, like the chance for me to watch my daughter walk across the stage to receive her college degree, it gave me time with my daughter that I wouldn't have had otherwise. I've talked to many people, all with familiar but very different stories. Whatever 2020 was for you, you are here now with all of us. We are a community. With all that has happened over the course of the past year, having to say goodbye to someone dear to you is by far the hardest thing to do. Our church community has lost several beloved members in 2020. We will take some time now to pay tribute to their memory. Lynn Stevens, who could not be with us this morning, has written a lovely remembrance, and Mary Desmond has put together a slideshow in their honor. Reading the remembrance at this time is Regis Sable.
Thank you, Mick. Our congregation and community bid a mournful goodbye to 5 beloved members last year. Herta Danowski passed away on February 28th at the age of 91. She was likely one of the first people you met at the UUCE, always engaging everyone in conversations. Her gentle strength and caring heart led her to be active in hospice volunteering. If you ever spoke with Herta, you learned about her unending love for nature and her many animal pals. And when you visited Herta, you met her beloved bear. What a sweet old dog. Herta always let me taste test the delicious goodies she'd donate to our yard sales. I only wished I'd seen her line dancing. May the road rise up to meet you, Herta, dear Herta. John Daly King passed away on March 14th at the age of 82. I met John before either of us attended services here. An accomplished musician and artisan, proudly directing the Erie Civic Ballet, he added depth and flair and beauty to our lives. John worked with special children, his kids, he'd say. They were always in his heart. John was fun and funny, serious and dedicated, and uniquely wonderful. May you dance forevermore, dear John. Peggy Richardson passed away on March 23rd at the age of 84. Our congregation and our community have been enhanced. I apologize. Our congregation has been enhanced, improved, and at times overwhelmed by having Peggy among us. A compassionate, gentle powerhouse, Peggy gave us much of herself and her love for the arts, education, social responsibility, and people as anyone ever could. Her beloved husband, Al, said it the best. Desiring no personal gain, Peggy lived her daily life to the fullest while bringing her unique tools of a lifetime to the world she lovingly shared with others. May you sing forevermore, dear Peggy. Donna Martin passed away on August 25th at the age of 71. Donna was probably one of the first people you met when you came into the church. As a longtime greeter, her gentle manner and welcoming smile made us all feel at home. Donna always made us feel comfortable, cared about, and welcome to be her friend. Her steadfast strength in the face of life's struggles was a testament to her devotion to community among us. Donna brought us her enlightened humor to any gathering or activity. She helped us organize a lunch for local immigrants and refugees, many of whom she taught English and other life skills. A quiet force of nature, Donna was a loving gift to us all. Doug Russell passed away on November 11th at the age of 67. He was just getting started. There are a vast array of adjectives that could describe Doug: patient, kind, humble, entertaining, hardworking, self-effacing, the epitome of grace. He taught us all how to walk through troubles, challenges, and life itself with a song in our hearts and a smile on our faces. Doug was everywhere at church and everything, from the sound guy, music man, the repairs and fix-it guy, the helper with everything pal, to our president during some of the most challenging years our congregation has faced. I never knew Doug to be angry, exhausted, exasperated, unwilling, or unable to help. Our own ray of sunshine. Doug was a solid rock star, yet gentle, sweet, and the funniest guy I ever knew. Gone too soon. We might not think we have much to offer the world, but there are good works for us to accomplish using our specific set of gifts. If we use those gifts and talents well, our lives leave a lasting mark and inspire others for generations to come. Herta, John, Peggy, Donna, and Doug. May we be ever grateful for their presence in our lives. Their love surrounds us. Rest in eternal peace. Amen.
Beautiful. Thank you. The past year has brought about change. Change that is personal, change that is within our church and larger community, and change in the world we live in. With change comes growth. And with experience, we gain knowledge. Growth and knowledge can give us a better understanding of the world around us and the space within us. When we nurture that space within us, that messy, broken, beautiful space, and allow ourselves to feel and heal, we can really embrace and accept the changes that happen in our lives. Change is a constant process that isn't always easy, but it's comforting to know that we have this community to share our everyday triumphs and tragedies with. Now the time has come for our church community to give 2020 a proper burial. And as most of you know who have been to the Jazz funeral before, if we were in the sanctuary this morning, and you would have a piece of rice paper to write on, and you would be asked to write something on that rice paper that you would like to let go of or heal from. Then, like years past, they would be buried in our lovely memorial garden on the church grounds. What we're going to do this year is we're going to speak about what we want to bury. And I am going to write it on the rice paper for you. And I'm going to make sure that it gets buried in our memorial garden. So I have several pieces of rice paper here. And what I'm going to ask you to do is that you speak your word, speak your phrase, keep it brief if you can, because I'm writing all this down. We're going to have just a moment of just silence. So if you want to unmute yourself and speak a word, I'll write it down. If you're not comfortable doing that and you just want to share a word or a phrase in the chat box, you can do that. Or if you just want to message me privately in the chat box, I am Michele Paich. You can find me in there. So however you want to do this, but we are going to get your words onto the rice paper and we are going to get them buried in the memorial garden. So let's just take a moment to do that. And after we're done with that, we're going to have musical meditation. So let's just take a quiet moment for the next minute or two and say a word, send it in the chat, send it to me privately in the chat, however you're comfortable.
The governance of Donald J. Trump.
Pain.
A roadmap to reverse global warming.
More mindful, less mindless.
Missing loved ones.
please make sure you're muted if you're not speaking. Thank you. Anxiety. We are letting go of a lot from 2020. As you continue to put your words in the chat box, we are going to have a musical meditation. Lord, take my hand. And James, that's from Thomas Dorsey, and James is going to play that for us on the cello. But you can keep putting words in the chat box. So now we are going to do our joys and concerns, similar yet different to what we just done. Christine Linke is going to lead us with that, and it's going to be followed by a musical meditation, and then Christine is going to do an acknowledgement of the joys and concerns.
So we use this time to put in the chat box anything that you might be feeling today, just a few words about joys and concerns that you have, and just a reminder that we don't respond to each other's joys and concerns in the chat box. It's just a place for us to bear witness, and I'll summarize at the end. In the chat box today, there is gratitude for the service, for each other, and for all of us being able to be together and support each other, to see our faces. Gratitude for family, for neighbors, for a place to take a walk. There's also anxiety for medical procedure coming up. And some people also talked about being able to turn over a new leaf and the feeling that change is coming and anticipating this spring. So and gratitude for children and laughter too. So for all of these joys and concerns that we express to each other, and that those that we did not express, we hold each other in our hearts.
Thank you, Christine. And now we are coming to our closing words, and Danae Foltz is with us, and she is going to speak of a meditation on the year 2021.
So 2021 is finally here, but now what? The question I find myself asking, and then I know a lot of other people are asking as well. If 2020 gave us an opportunity for reflection and for growth, then 2021 is a year that demands radical change. A new year does not inherently erase all of the damage caused by the one before it, but it does give us the opportunity to put all of the things we learned into action. We are all moving forward stronger, wiser, and hopefully a little bit humbled. 2021 will only be as good as we make it, and I have no idea what this year is going to bring, but I do know that it is a year we are going to look back on and recognize as a critical turning point. We are witnessing history in real time, and I'm hopeful that we're all going to be on the right side of it. 2021 is a year of strength, of hope, and of unapologetic authenticity. So let us all find the strength in ourselves to move forward one step at a time. Thank you.
And now we are going to extinguish our chalices. And Linlong Su is here with us again. Linlong?
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for being here today. So we have our postlude coming up next, and it is time to cut loose, if you will. We have laid down our burdens, so let's lift up our hearts. Wave your handkerchief around, dance in your living room, or just sit quietly and enjoy our virtual second line. During this time, if you have any announcements, you can put it in the chat box. And I want to thank you all so much for sharing this time with us. And Jackson is going to speak a little about the video, and then we're going to play it. And I want you all to enjoy it thoroughly. Thank you.
Okay, so the video you're going to watch has footage. I just did a quick video just finding footage about the second line. There's a demonstration about the second line from a history perspective. You'll see a small band and a guy dancing. Then there's also footage from actually a wedding with a second line theme, which I just like to throw in there just to show, something that a second line doesn't always have to be for a funeral. And then there's also Second Line Sunday that happens most Sundays in New Orleans. So there's lots of footage in there from that. And then there's New Orleans bands and people who are kind of popular and historic in New Orleans jazz and stuff like that. So, but also this features Kelly Armour and Pat Lorei. Kelly Armour on the flute and Pat Lorei on the sax, and then I'm playing piano and bass on it. But there's also a drummer, but it's I ripped it from YouTube, so there you go.
Thank you.
was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I hope that left all of you feeling renewed in this new year. So thank you to everyone for attending today. Thank you to everyone who helped put this wonderful service together. And Christine, were there any announcements put into the chat box?
No, I didn't see any. Just
Okay.
gratitude for the service.
Wonderful. Well, hopefully everybody was busy dancing to that wonderful music.